Hi everybody, John Cena here and welcome to this super special endurance sports edition of FunkQuest, and we have one returning Funkster and one brand new Funkster to the network. And we're going to talk about all things endurance and why and how we do things and what motivates us to do things. So without further ado, Steve, tell us who you are and where you're dialing in from.
Hi, I'm Steve Judge. I'm an international professional speaker and I'm dialing in from just in the outskirts of Sheffield, actually in Derbyshire. Not South Yorkshire, so Derbyshire, north of England.
Sheffield, the cultural and geometric centre of the universe.
Yes. That's where I get it all from, obviously.
That's it. Sally, new to the network, who are you and where are you dialing in from?
I am Sally Orange by name, Orange by nature. I haven't been tangoed, that is just the name that I was born with, but you look like you've been tangoed.
Yeah.
But I'm calling from Salisbury in Wiltshire.
That's down from us, right? And it is rare that we've got.
The rules of FunkQuest are simple. Each Funkster selects one of 4 icons. Behind each icon is a question which may or may not have anything to do with the icon. The Funkster then has 1 minute to tell a story, tell a joke, or maybe even answer the question.
So, Sally, you can pick a bucking bronco, a crab, some gas flames, although I'm actually really half because we can't afford all that now, and some faded chairs.
I'll go with the gas, if that's all right.
What would your family assume you've been arrested for?
Probably dressing as a piece of fruit in a different country where that country isn't a fan of that fruit. So the background to that is my claim to fame is that I'm the only person in the world that's ran a marathon on every continent dressed as a different piece of fruit. So I was a Kiwi in New Zealand, but imagine if I'd gone as an orange in New Zealand, I might well get arrested for that.
What were the logistics of that then, the running a marathon in different country?
It was over a certain amount of time. So the hardest logistics was Antarctica, where I was dressed as a pear. So I did get my nice pear out, which could certainly get me arrested in some places. But yeah, I was a pear there, and that was incredible. We had to go to South America to then get to Antarctica, and obviously it was very, very cold. Mongolia was pretty impressive as well. I was a chili pepper there because it was minus 50 degrees.
Minus 50?
Yeah, my eyelashes froze together, but I was a chili pepper, so at least I looked red hot. Antarctica, I did think after Antarctica, I'd be okay with that, but yeah, then Mongolia was so much colder.
So give us a quick, scores on the door. So Mongolia's a chili pepper.
South America's a pear. South America was a bunch of grapes, but Antarctica, a pear.
Europe.
Well, I've done lots of different. So strawberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
Africa
was a jackfruit in Uganda. North America was a watermelon for the US Marine Corps.
Of course. Yeah. Excellent. Steve, you can pick a bucking bronco, a crab, or some faded chairs.
I'm going to go for the faded chairs. It reminds me of my chairs outside that need painting again. So I'm going to go for that.
How important is a diary to you?
So I never used to write a diary. And I started when I was in hospital going through my rehabilitation. And it started off just writing what medication I was on. So I had my near-fatal car accident in 2002. And I was writing what medication I was on and also how I felt. Because what I found was when I was feeling really bad, I could look back in my diary and I could see that I was actually worse in the past than I was then. So because I benchmarked myself, I could see that I was actually getting better, even though I didn't really feel like it. But one day, without going off on too much of a story, I drew a picture and I didn't realize then, but that is what I talk about now, about focusing on what you want to achieve rather than what you want to avoid. I drew a picture of me walking again and running again and standing again. And that really helped me. So I think that's what a diary is really good for. Nowadays, I have a journal. It's called a journal, not a diary. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is.
Any word.
It's very much like getting the stuff out of my head and onto a piece of paper. And sometimes I read back on it, but most of the time it's just like a mental vomit almost, just getting it out there. But it makes me feel better. And sometimes I read back on it, but not always. So it's very important. I do encourage other people to do it, but I know it's not everybody's thing, but something to get it out of your head. And it could be drawing pictures, it could be talking to somebody, or could be writing a journal. But yeah, very important to do a diary or journal.
Excellent. Good answer. And a good answer that's not an app or a pad or a pod or something like that. Piece of paper and pencil. Oldest tools known to man. Sally, question 2. A Halloween birdhouse, some books, a vulture or a vacuum cleaner?
All right, I'll go with books.
Books. Which do you prefer, fiction or non-fiction books?
Non-fiction. I love a good autobiography. I've read, I just find them so inspiring, reading what people have gone through in their lives, what they've gone on to achieve, sort of sometimes the adversity that they've gone through and then achieved. Yeah, a lot of those books these days are actually quite a few of my friends, which is
really?
Yeah, I've got a lot of really quite inspirational friends who I served in the army for 22 years, and they have been injured but have gone on to achieve some really incredible things. Or
without wishing to embarrass you or your friends, give us 3 or 5 autobiographies that we should rush out and read.
Oh, now you put me on the spot because I've had a head injury and I can't remember names.
Okay.
Sean Conway.
Sean Conway. No.
Yep. So he's an endurance. He does a lot of endurance sports.
Yeah.
Oh, I can literally see them in my.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Steve, give us 5 autobiographies that you might recommend.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, can I recommend my own one? So, because Sally, I'll send you a copy of my one. Do you know what? I did some research on autobiographies, but I'm such a slow reader. So I may have started them. And if I look over there, I think one was Chris Evans, and I loved Chris Evans. I'm not going to name loads of autobiographies because I didn't read fully all of them. But Chris Evans I liked because it's quirky. And when I was writing my book, I wanted to get input of what other books are out there. And Chris Evans kind of, as you know, does what he likes. He doesn't stick to the norm. He doesn't stick to structure. And some of the chapters are really short and he puts songs in and poems in. I thought, that's great. So that's kind of what I've done. So it's a really quirky book. And I think
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans. Yeah, that's probably the best one. Go for that one.
Go for him. Right. Okay, Steve, it's your question. Halloween haunted house. A vulture or a vacuum cleaner?
Let's go for the vulture. It sounds scary.
A vulture. How long can you concentrate for?
I'm going to go for 1 hour. I have this thing called an egg timer, and I don't know if you is it Pomodoro?
Pomodoro. Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Pomodoro. You do 25 minutes concentrating on something, and then you have a 5-minute break. Then you do another 25 minutes concentrating on something, and then 5-minute break, and you get tasks done, jobs done. 25 minutes wasn't long enough for me. I'd only just got stuck into it. So I introduced this hour egg timer, but within the hour, I get my goal done. So the goal that I've got, I get it done. So I call it my golden hour, What happens if when you get to 57 minutes, you think, there's another 10 minutes on it? Do you carry on doing, or do you just jack it in and go for a drink? I force myself to jack it in because you need a break. You need to have some time out, go and get some fresh air, make yourself a drink, then come back. I force myself after maybe 2 hours to go out for a walk. It just lets all your thoughts just calm down and you get new thoughts. If you keep going, it seems like the right thing, but it's not.
Can we buy one of these golden hours anywhere?
I haven't marked it yet. It took me ages to find this one because there was still.
Is it? Hold it up. Can we see that? I can't see that.
It's got that, and it's got quarter of a turn. There's a different story about quarter of a turn. I used to do quarter of a turn on my cage to length of my leg by 4 inches. Yeah. So quarter of a turn is 15 minutes. Steve,
me and you have had this conversation personally about your leg, and then we don't want to hear it, okay?
Okay, right.
Sally don't want to hear it, right? Okay. It's good, I'm impressed. Sally, you don't want to hear it about his leg. No?
I've done it. I know, I've got lots of patients who've had it done, and I've done the same, so I understand a Lazarov frame.
3, camels, some feet sticking out of a bed. Some hats and scarves, or Steve's house?
I'll go with camels.
Some camels. When did you last hitchhike?
It was actually in New Zealand Oh no, actually, that wasn't me hitchhiking. That was me picking up a hitchhiker.
What happened when you picked somebody up then? How did that?
I was in New Zealand, and I saw someone. I was on my own, got my car, and this was about 20 years ago. But I saw somebody with a military bag, so I drove past them and thought, oh, military bag. Went back again, drove past them again, went back again, and thought, yeah, okay, this does, New Zealand's quite safe. It's kind of the done thing over there. And so I picked him up and got chatting. We had friends in common, so we knew people that knew each other. We'd served in some of the different places, and he was actually only supposed to be going to so far, but then he said, oh, I think I'll come further, at which point I was a bit I just sort of didn't tell him where I was staying. The people that you can meet and the stories that they have and the links and the connections that they have to other people, didn't tell my parents, obviously, sort of 20 years ago that yeah.
Do they know? Have you told anybody this story before? I
think I have told them of which. Yeah, it didn't go down too well.
I'm just thinking of, if I'm walking down the road and there's a car kind of driving past and driving past and driving past like that, and then stops and gives me a lift, I'd be a bit sus.
Well, there you go. I could be the sus one there.
You could be the sus. Anyways, good answer. Steve, you can pick some feet hanging out of a bed, hats and scarves, or your house.
I won't go for my house. I think I'll go for the feet, because my feet always stick out of the bed.
The feet hanging out of the bed. What is the best video on YouTube?
Okay, so the one that popped into my head is, I love the motivational ones. Do you know, I really like the random acts of kindness videos. They are amazing. I love the failed army as well, and the boss level ones. Random acts of kindness, but these are random ones. Specifically, the one that I really like is something that's motivating and inspiring, and it is the scene from a film. This one is from Love Actually. So do you remember the scene where the little boy goes to the airport and he's trying to catch up with his girlfriend, and she's just gone through security, she's just about to get and he breaks free, and that's the pinnacle bit, that he wants something so much, he's so passionate, he's willing to break the rules, and his dad encourages him because this is it, he's only got this one chance. And he runs, and the music, and everybody's chasing him, and he does a few comical things and ducks under things, and he succeeds, and he catches up with his girlfriend. The music's getting me going already. The music behind it as well. I went to see Love Actually at the in concert at Christmas, and I never realised how important the music was throughout we watched the film. The film came down on the screen, but it was a live orchestra playing all the way through, and just that's really upped the film in my mind a lot, and I love that scene, so I'd go for that.
Go for that one, and it's a clip on YouTube.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Excellent. Question 4, Sally, you can pick some mice, a treasure chest, some plastic horses, or a leather school bag.
I'll go for school bag.
School bag. How do you know the Earth is round?
Being one place that I did go, I mentioned Antarctica, but I also recently just went to Svalbard, and it's 24-hour daylight, and that is really bizarre, trying to sleep in 24 hours daylight, and it makes you realize that you can have too much of a good thing, because you could think, oh, dark is not that good, but as I say, it's hard to sleep if it doesn't get dark, and you don't appreciate the opposite if you only have the one thing. It's a bit the same that if it's raining, you think, well, I want the sunshine, but actually if you have the sunshine too much, how often are people like, oh, I can't wait for it to rain, I need the garden watering, I need this. We always moan, particularly in Britain. So yeah, there's lots of different ways, and obviously the plug hole in the southern and northern hemisphere, the water goes around.
Where did you went? Sorry, where did you go? Was it Sweden?
Norway. So Svalbard is just. I was supposed to be going to the North Pole, so I've been to not the South Pole, been to Antarctica, and was due to be running a marathon at the North Pole, but unfortunately it was cancelled. So I still went up to Svalbard, which is where you go from to get to the North Pole, and that's where it's 24 hours daylight.
The answer to that is easy. You go there and you FaceTime me and Steve, and it's going to be dark in Sheffield, because it's always dark in Sheffield, and that's it. Case closed. Proven.
Okay. Done.
Well, we'll just hold the camera outside and you'll be there with the sun. But good answer, very funky answer. But we have proved, or we could prove quite easily, that the Earth is
Unless
round.
I go at the other time of year when it's all darkness, because there's different types of the year where it's all darkness.
Of course, yeah, of course. Steve, you can pick.
Gold. I'll go for the gold treasure chest.
Golden chest. How much bling do you wear when you go out?
So the only bling I have is this that I have all the time. Got this given to me in Australia when I was there, 1996. Met a Japanese traveller, got stuck in a hostel. Rain came down, couldn't escape, couldn't get out of there. Helped this Japanese guy to speak English. And after, when he left, he gave me this as a gift. And it's a 5 yen coin. It's called a goen. And goen stands for good karma. And he says, Steve, I give this to you and it will bring you good luck, good karma, but only if you're aware of your vision and you seize opportunities. So I put this around my neck in 2009. That was after the accident. I'd set visions and worked towards them. I'd got into triathlon. I'd just about to do my first triathlon, para triathlon down at Rother Valley. I put this around my neck then. I was aware of my vision. I wanted to complete the triathlon. I wanted to win, and I was seizing opportunities. Now, to cut a long story short, I crossed the finish line, British champion, and now I have my vision of empowering and inspiring, motivating others. This coin reminds me of that all the time. My goal is to go to Japan and share my story about what this has brought. And
you still keep in contact with this guy?
Spoke at a Japanese school, sponsored by Toyota. They loved it. They said, Steve, would love to take you to Japan next year to share your story. I said, that would be awesome. They said, could we ask you a favor? Could we set up a little thing so you can try and find the guy that gave you that coin? When I went traveling, I had a diary and I've got the name of the guy that gave it to me. And his name was Taka. Now that's quite a common name. And his friend was called Nori. So I got Taka and Nori, 1996, gave an English traveller a coin. We are going to see if we can find him and complete the circle, because I'd love to thank him, to tell him what this coin that he gave me, what I've achieved from it, and now what I give to others. We've
got to get him on FunkQuest. Steve, you've got to get in touch. We've got to get him on the show.
Well, I'm going to Japan next year, 2023.
Yeah,
so
right.
let's
He's
see
got a seat. He's got a seat.
Okay.
Excellent. So, question 5: some workmen, a sunflower, a water droplet, or a crane?
I'll go sunflower, please.
Sunflower. What is something you feel too old to do?
Oh, I don't think you're ever too old to do anything. Young at heart is what I like to think of myself as. And I think that's probably why I dress as different pieces of fruit, because I think we're all so unique. So what one person thinks they're too old to do, I think it's putting boundaries on others, and I don't think anyone should have boundaries on what they're able to achieve. I was actually, the row that I did across the channel a few weeks ago, one of our rowers was 74, wow. But I was I've done a couple of Ironman triathlons, and I was looking at the one that I'm doing in September. I was looking at the categories of the races that people the ages of people, and 84. There's somebody who's 84 who is taking on an Ironman triathlon. So setting boundaries to tell yourself that you're too old to do something. I think actually when you're older, sometimes you're better at things because you've got that knowledge and you're more wiser at doing things than perhaps you were when you were younger. So never think that you're too old to do anything.
Where do you get your costumes from on a practical level? Do you make them, or does somebody make them for you, or do you buy them, or where do you get them from?
Yeah, most of them are bought. I've had a couple that have been made specifically. But you'd be surprised how many fruit costumes there are. And I've actually taken on vegetables now. I ran the length of Iceland last year. A friend of mine had a stroke. He was age 40, set up his own foundation called What's Inside Matters, and I thought, I'm going to run the length of Iceland. And I thought, do you know what? A pod of peas. What's inside matters. I knew I was going to be cold, so thought I could be a frozen pea. And a friend of mine took out an Elsa costume. So between us, I was either a frozen pea or Princess and the Pea. But Bird's Eye got behind it, sponsored me, and
Steve, question 5: some workmen, some water droplets, or a crane?
Water droplets, please.
Water droplets. What is something you would keep behind a movable bookcase, like a secret panel?
Yeah, the thing that it would be like an Indiana Jones thing, definitely. because that's what I love. I love treasure chests, and I love like maps and treasure maps. My book that I'm writing is very much about going on the journey. I talked about the gold and stuff, but it's all about the journey going there and what you need, what tools you need to get there. You've got your golden vision, you've got your golden gang, and your golden soul, and your golden hour, of course, is there. But I would make my own treasure chest, treasure hunt, and I don't know, just go with it. Invite friends round, and like those game shows and stuff. And there'd be a bit of danger, a bit of adventure, bit of cobwebs and stuff like that. But the gold at the end of it, that'd be amazing. Maybe a big bar room with a free bar. Oh, I'd love that. And some food, maybe lots of fruit, of course, Sally.
Excellent. So you would put behind a movable bookcase a treasure chest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Excellent. That's the end of the show. Sally, how can we find out more about you, send you fruit or veg or anything like that?
Well, hope people eat fruit and veg, because it's one of your 5 a day. But I have a website, which is sallyorange.com, and then I'm on Instagram as Sally Orange, and LinkedIn and Facebook, all as Sally Orange. As I said at the beginning, that is my name, so that's
Orange
why.
By name,
yeah.
Orange by nature. Excellent.
Yeah.
Steve, how can we contact you and find out more about you?
So I have a website, steve-judge.co.uk. Otherwise, social media everywhere: LinkedIn, Steve Judge; Facebook, Steve Judge; Twitter, Steve Judge. I think Instagram is Steve Judge Gold. There's a bit of a twist there, but generally, if you type in Steve Judge, you're going to find me. So no excuses. Don't lean on your excuses. If you want to get hold of me, contact me, call me.
Excellent. Sally and Steve, thank you so much for being on the show. And no vote on this episode. Listeners, no need to vote, just for fun. Sally and Steve, thanks so much, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.
Okay, take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.